Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, Danny Changing Network? Back with another episode of Dante Dog Stories. It's been about a week since the last episode where we talked about toddlers and dogs around toddlers and what to do when you have a child around a dog. Um, this week, you see, we're going to be talking about dog shows. If you've been following me, then you know just this last weekend, I was at ABKC Dog Show. So, of course, it inspired this video, along with questions that a lot of people had that really don't understand what a dog show is or what it entails or what goes on at a dog show. So I decided to take some time out, make a quick video on, what actually goes on at dog shows. So y'all know we're gonna get right into it. First thing first, gotta thank 300cruises.com for sponsoring this episode of Dante Dog Stories. If you're looking for extravagant travel, you're trying to go to Bali, Ghana, the Bahamas, Jamaica, 300cruises.com is definitely the way to go to start planning that trip. So check out 300cruises.com. Right into the dog of the day, the poodle. Most of you know the poodle for um, the groomings that they usually suit um, with the big puff balls, usually around the chest area and of course on the head area and on the legs of the dog and the tail as well. The poodle is often mistaken for not being a very protective dog. The poodles are very, very protective. Um, when you talk about quote unquote aggression, they are one of the breeds that aggression is linked to, just because of the protective nature that they have. Um, but poodles in general, very good family dog. Um, very good dogs if you're have like dog allergies to like fur and things like that, because they don't shed. But that's why they constantly have to be groomed the way they do, because their hair grows like human hair and can get very coarse and matted up if you don't take care of it. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting a poodle. They come in different size ranges. You got the large, the standard, and then the miniature, even the teacup in some cases. So if you look for a poodle, I definitely think it's definitely a dog that you would enjoy having in a family environment, even for a single person, but definitely in a family environment with the poodles. Very, very nice dog. And right into the show. What are dog shows? So, like I explained, I went to an ABKC dog show. So, a dog show you may have seen on TV actually. It's none other than when a dog is sporting itself uh, to basically place within the dog community or within that registry that dog is registered to. So these dog shows, people from all over come to this event to basically show the dogs off as the best of the breed. Um, and the fact that that dog meets the standard of said breed. So I went to an ABKC show, which is a bully show, a bully dog show, but there are dog shows for all breeds because it can be a best of breed, of course, in all breeds. And then, of course, when you get into like the UKCs, the AKCs, the Westminster, uh, different dog kennels like that, or dog registries like that, we actually have where, of course, the best of breed competes with all the breeds um, within that registry. So you take the champions of each group or sporting group or working group, whatever the group is, um, the terrier group. You get the best dog out of that group, and then they compete for the best of breed. Just recently in the AKC show, Frenchie won best of breed. So that means he was the best Frenchie of the Frenchie group. And then when he competed against all the other breeds, whether it been Dalmatian, Rottweiler, all the other dog breeds, he was the best in show. Uh, so you can kind of decipher the dynamic of what the judges are looking at when they're judging some of these dogs in certain shows. In particular, the ABKC show. Of course, the ABKC being a very new registry. Um, things they you may see dogs in there that you may not necessarily see fits and this is in my opinion, in all the ABKC shows that I've been to, and some of the other bully registry shows too. With the bully community, because it is new, you may not see every dog that what you feel like meets the standard, because the breed is technically um, it's made a standard, but it hasn't corrected it to a T yet, like with other breeds. So and like let's say the German Shepherd breed, right? You go to a German Shepherd dog show, you're not going to see many differences between the top dogs. You go to a bully show, it's vice versa. You may see what may be the champion dog compared to another dog that's not a champion, and then you're like, that's because it's a newer registry, it's a newer breed. All these dogs are newer dogs, so the standards between the judges are going to vary because of the newer breed. Everybody has their perspective and standard on what they feel like is the best in show or the best representation of the breed. Um, but of course, the dog shows are meant so everybody can get on one accord on what the best of breed is. And I also want to explain the benefits it does to the community. So I actually pull up some pictures that I want to talk about. So right here, you see dogs stacked up, and these are XLs at the American Bully Show that I was at. And the thing about it is, prior to this dog show, I'm sure at least half of these folks in this photo didn't know each other. If not, maybe everybody didn't know each other prior to this actual dog show. They may have known the dog from hearing about the dog or seeing the dog and inquiring about the dog, but they may have not met in person. So with the dog shows, what it does, it allows the community to network. It allows the community to market with people that, of course, we see online and we contact through messaging and things like that. But actually put your hands on these dogs. Actually see um, the specimens up close and in person. Um, it's a different feel when you actually see dog in person. Like if you're looking at this picture right now, you still won't understand the magnitude of how this dog to the far right looks, which is this black tribe, which is a beautiful, beautiful dog. And in the picture, you may see the dog. He's like, oh, that's a small dog, or that's okay, dog. It's a cool dog, or it looks average. But to see that dog in person, it's a whole different feel. So what these dog shows end up doing, it ends up changes people's perspective on these dogs, and then they start to see a vision of what this dog thing really is. At this show in particular, like I said, there's a lot of XLs that came out. This show was in Columbus, Georgia, so it's right in my backyard. So I had to be up there. But you also want to travel to other states just to see other people's production, because there's great productions all over the nation. And you won't know who has the best of the best if you're not going to put your eyes on these dogs, if you're not going to put your hands on these dogs and meeting these people and talking to these breeders. Because sometimes you might see a dog and you're wondering, like, how did this person come up with this dog? How did they get to this point? And then at that point, you got the chance to ask them, hey, what kind of breeding you put together to get this production? Or who did you contact? What stud you use? What female you use? What was you looking for? How did you bring this type feed out? How did you chump your dog out? How are you about to become a grand champion? All this information can get done at these dog shows. And so that's the real big benefit of it, because no matter what age you are, because they have junior handler shows, so you can be as young as 6, 7, 8 years old and be at one of these dog shows and just learn a magnitude of knowledge. But especially if you're like in high school or about to graduate high school, dog shows are the perfect venue and scene for you to actually go out and actually start to inspire about your next steps as becoming a dog breeder, if this is your choice. Because I know me personally, if I was 13 or when I was 13 or 14, I would love to just go to a dog show on the weekend. I never knew about dog shows. To know to go to a dog show on the weekend, I never knew where it was held, how to find out where they're held, things like that. I never knew none of these things. But as a kid, I promise you, if I would have had the opportunity to go to a dog show on the weekend just to do something to get out of the house, I would have did that. To see all these dogs in person, like I say, it's a different feel. And this is just the ABKC show. I'm not talking about your bigger shows with your more known registries, with a lot more dogs, a lot more reputable breeders, a lot more people who's been doing it for years on years on years. A lot of these people I met here at the dog shows, they all been doing it for the last 15 to 20 years. Some of them haven't even been doing it that long. So you can imagine the knowledge you'll be able to gain at a larger dog show with a breed that's been bred over 100 years, like the Rottweiler or like the Cane Corso, just different dog breeds that you'll run into where the knowledge about the breed is all at these shows. So not only is the show just for that dog to come there and show itself and show why it is the standard of the breed, but also for the community itself to come together and actually, like I say, network and market. Uh, there's a couple of people in this photo here who, again, I didn't know personally, never seen their dogs. At the show, I got to meet them. I met their dogs. I got to put my hands on them. Now I can think about how I want to incorporate that into my program if I wanted to. And I know I always had the chance to because now I got their contact information. Now I can reach out to them and ask them certain things. Now I can see what kind of breedings they putting together and seeing if that's coming out like how I envision it, or how I want something to come out. So just different things like that you get to tap into. And like I said, you get to see these dogs up in person when it becomes a very different feel. Like to see a 130-pound dog on camera is one thing, and you can think like, oh, that's a big dog. But to see a 130-pound dog in person is a whole another thing. And when I say 130 pounds, because a lot of times people will see an 80-pound dog and think that's a very huge dog. And then they'll see a 130-pound dog and think that's the biggest dog they ever seen in their life, which it probably is. But in the community, especially the ABKC community, and we're talking about some of these larger breeds like the Saint Bernards and things like that, the dogs get much larger. And to see that presence of that dog uh, in person, like I say, it's a whole different feel for what's going on. And just speaking on the ABKC dog shows in particular, to see these dogs have the manners that they have for the breed to get such as the pushback that it gets from the outside world as an aggressive breed, to have over 300 people in one venue and probably 150 dogs in the venue as well, and not to have any dog fights. Of course, you have dogs barking here and there. That's what dogs do. That's how they communicate. But you don't have, you know, you don't ever see about a mauling at a dog show. When it's the most dogs in the area and the most people, when the dogs have the chance to do anything like that, you don't hear about maulings at a dog show. Now, there has been cases where dogs have bitten people at dog shows. I'm not going to act like that's not the case. But I'm talking about your critical cases where something happens to somebody where uh, it's detrimental. You don't have that at dog shows. So again, dog shows are definitely, if you're a breeder, if you're thinking about getting into breeding, there are definitely things. I mean, as events uh, that you have to go to. There's no question about it. I don't feel like as a breeder, if you're not willing to travel and go to these dog shows, then you're gonna be half stepping. You're gonna be missing out a part of your program that you need incorporated because, like I say, the insight, the knowledge, the networking piece, the marketing, everything that comes with it, it is just beneficial to your program. So why wouldn't you want to do that? It just makes more sense. And the last thing I want to speak on is the mentality that the dog shows bring upon uh, a wandering dog breeder. So a lot of times, you know, a person may be like, you know, I want to sell my dogs for say a price, $1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever it may be. And a lot of times, people like me and where I come from, uh, we used to buy dogs for $75, $100, $200. So when we're hearing prices of 1,500, we're like, why would somebody pay a dog 1,500? Then you start hearing 2,000. Why would somebody pay 2,000, 3,000, whatever? Right? You go to these dog shows, I promise you, your understanding on why these folks are charging so much for their dogs would make sense because a lot of times when you see these dogs, these are not dogs you're just going to see one around the streets. These are nice dogs. These are quality dogs coming out quality bloodlines, and like I said, they bring out the best of the best. So a lot of times you're not gonna get that unless you go to a dog show. I know me personally, I was one of those ones. When I first came into the dog game, I didn't want to pay a bunch of money for a quality dog. Or yeah, that's correct. I didn't want to pay a bunch of money for a quality dog. I wanted to be able to get a good deal on a quality dog, right? And so what ends up happening is the bigger breeders, they don't care that you're not coming to them because you want to spend cheaper. You realize this because they understand the quality and what makes up that dog. And to get that dog, everybody who has that quality is going to be charging about the same price because they had to take that same amount to get what they got. So they're not going to undercut their sales when they got the quality of a dog. And a lot of people misunderstand that because they think like, oh, I got the blood of the dog, but you don't have the actual productions that made this dog that quality. It's a difference. It's a difference when you got the pairs of the dog and the dog don't look like the dog. It's a difference when you listen to production used to create this dog here to be the face of the bloodline. It's all different feel. So when you talk to these people and they telling you like, oh, my pup's 3,500, my pup's 4,500, um, you think like folks will be like, oh no, I ain't paying that. Look, man, these folks ain't get there overnight. Like they put in the work to charge um, the amounts that they're charging for these dogs, for their stud fees, for any services that they have going on. So one thing I tell any young breeder coming into the game, don't go into the dog shows um, like with your feelings on your sleeve. Don't get hurt by hearing a price that's technically out of your league at that time, because you'll get there one day, but you have to put in the work. Like these folks don't put in the work. So I see that a lot at these dog shows. People go to these, they go to the booths, they ask the people about the dogs, and I hear them, and they'll be like, 3,500 for that, 4,500 for that. Like that's disrespectful. Like it's a lot of work that goes into creating a good dog and a quality dog, and just for you to come by and just be like, you know, why are you charging that for that? Like that's disrespectful. Um, so that's one thing I think I would definitely key in some advice for any young breeder. When you go to these dog shows, have an open mind, have an idea of, hey, when I go, I'm going to learn something. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, if you're going to market or network to buy something, do that as well, and just don't have the mindset that you're going to be getting a deal. Like these are the best of the best. This is the top quality. Like I said, you'll see some dogs that may not meet the quality of the other dogs. Don't buy from them. Are you good? Go buy from them, and guess what? It's gonna produce what you see. So keep that in mind. And yeah, man, that's about it. What are dog shows? This was a quick explanation of that. And what dog shows entail. I got a lot of photos, videos of the dog show that I went to. Like I say, this past weekend here in Columbus, Georgia. So if you want to check that out, add me on Facebook, Dontel Lemon on Facebook. Um, Instagram, I haven't posted a video onto the Instagram page yet, but I'll be doing that this weekend. So Game Changer Kennels on Instagram. I'll have some more pictures and videos and probably a reel posted about the dog show. Also on Game Changer Kennels, I'll be posting a video up there as well um, about the dog show. So y'all tap in. Y'all continue to like these videos, comment, subscribe, sharing with your friends, telling your dog friends. Keep asking questions. I had a lot of people, like I say, come into the inbox and say, what goes on at a dog show? Or what is a dog show? What did you do there? What did I miss? So a question like this will be, of course, answered in these short videos like this one. And I appreciate the continued support. And that's it. We out.